Hello everyone, we're back for another tutorial. This one is for Anna. She saw a shawl that I made and asked how I did it, and I said give me a couple days and we will put up a video for you. So this is not the same yarn that I used in the shawl that she saw. This is Lion Brand's Mandela Ombre. Doesn't look too much ombre to me. It looks more like denim. It has that denim effect to it. And the colors change too fast for me to say that it's ombre. You know, because ombre goes from light to dark or dark to light, whichever. But this is like got some fast moving colors. But anywho, so we're going to use this and a 6mm crochet hook. It does call for a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, but I'm going to use a 6. And we are going to start off by chaining 4. So you start with your slip knot, however you make your slip knot. We're going to chain 4 and slip stitch into the first stitch to form a little circle, and then chain 4. That is going to count as a double crochet and a chain 1. And then we're going to do a V stitch. A V is just simply 2 double crochets with a chain stitch in between. So there's 1 double, a chain, and another double, and that makes our V. We're going to chain 3. This will be the center of the shawl, or the backbone, or the spine, however you want to call it. And we're going to do another V, which is a double crochet, a chain 1, and a double crochet. Then we're going to chain 1 again and do 1 more double crochet. Okay, so that is our first row. Now we're going to chain 3 and turn our work. And in this space right here, we are going to do a double, a chain 1, and a V, which again is 2 double crochets with a chain, 1 chain in between. And that forms a V. Okay, so we're going to skip over that V stitch, chain 1, skip over the V, and into our chain 3 space we are going to make another V. It's a double, a chain, and a double, chain 3, and do another V. That's a double, a chain, and a double, chain 1, chain 1, skip over our V and come over to this space over here and make another V. So that's a double, a chain 1, and another double. Okay, then we chain 1, and we're going to do a single crochet in the 3rd chain from our turning chain on the previous row. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Or actually, that would be our starting chain. So we're going to do a double crochet into that. I'm going to try and pick up 2 strands. There we go. Okay, so that is row 2. So then we're going to chain 3 turn our work, and we're going to put a double crochet in that space, a chain 1, and a V-stitch, which is a double, a chain, and a double, chain 1, skip this V and come over to this open space and do a double, a chain, and a double to make our V, chain 1, come to the middle with the spine, and we're going to do another V, which is a double, a chain, and a double, chain 3, and another V. So a double, chain 1, and a double, chain 1, skip this V and come over to this open space and do another V. So a double, a chain, and a double, chain 1, skip this V, and in this space here we're going to make another V, double, chain 1, and a double, chain 1, and we're going to put a single crochet right on top of this one right here. And a double crochet in our turning chain. Okay, so that was row 3. So now is when your pattern repeat can start. This is just like your setup. This is your foundation setup for your shawl. So we're going to do chain 3, turn our work. We're going to put a double crochet in the top of this one here. We're going to chain 1, and in this space right here, we're going to put a V, which is a double, a chain 1, and a double. Chain 1, skip over the V and come over to this space and make a V-stitch, which is a double, a chain 1, and a double. Chain 1, skip the V, come over to this space, and make another V, so you have a double, a chain 1, and a double. Chain 1, skip the V, we're in our corner, our chain 3 space. We're going to make a V, which is a double, chain 1, and a double. Then we'll chain 3 and do a double, a chain 1, and a double for a V-stitch. Chain 1, skip your V, come over to this open space, double, chain 1, and a double to form a V. Chain 1, skip this V, and come over into this space, double, chain 1, double to make a V, and then chain 1, skip this V, and in this space right here, we're going to make another V. Double, chain 1, and a double. Chain 1, put a double crochet on top of this double crochet from the previous row, and a double crochet in the third chain of your chain 3 turning chain. Okay, so that's how we are looking so far. So we're going to do another row, chain 3, turn your work, put a double crochet on top of this. From here on out, each row will start and end with a double crochet and another double crochet in the chain 3 turning chain. So we're going to do a double, a chain 1, and in this space right here, we're going to put a V, which is a double, a chain, and a double, chain 1, skip the V, come over to the next one, double, chain 1, and double. That makes your V, chain 1, skip that V, come over to this space, double, chain 1, and double, chain 1, skip the V, make another V, double, chain 1, double, chain 1, we're at our corner, double, chain 1, double to make our V, chain 3, and then another V, which is a double, chain 1, and a double. Chain 1, skip the V, come over to the space and make another V, which is a double, chain 1, and a double. Chain 1, skip the V, come over to the space and do another V. Chain 1, skip the V, come over to the space and make another V. So basically, that's all you're doing for this entire shawl is a double, a chain, a double, a chain, a double, a chain, but forming a V, skipping the V, and going into the space after the V to make a V. Chain 1 in the top of that double crochet there, and a double in the top of our chain 3 turning chain. It's a mouthful. Okay. So, and it's just keep repeating that. But I would like to say one thing though. Be real picky with the yarn that you use. Because a stiff yarn like Red Heart Super Saver does not make a nice shawl. There's no flow to it at all. It's stiff. It won't make a nice shawl. This is like, there's just a lot of flex, bendability to it. The Red Heart Super Saver, it's just so stiff and chunky. And, I mean, it's good for some things, but not this. So, one last row and we'll call it. Chain 3, turn your work, put a double crochet on top of this double crochet from the previous row, chain 1, make a V-stitch in this space right here, double, chain, double, chain 1, skip the V, and go into this space and make another V, chain 1, and a double, chain 1, skip the V, come into this space, chain 1, Okay, chain 1 there, skip the V, come into the space, chain 1, skip the V, come into the space, make your next V, double, chain 1, double, chain 1. Now we're at our corner, or our spine, our backbone, the center. You can call it pretty much anything there. Chain 3 and do another V. In that same chain 3, corner, spine, center, backbone. Oops, forgot to chain 1. Chain 1. Okay. Chain 1. Skip the V below. Make a V up here, which is a double, a chain 1, and a double. Then we chain 1, we skip this V, come over to this space, double, chain 1, double, chain 1, skip the V, double, chain 1, and a double to form a V, chain 1, skip this V, come into this space, which is a double, a chain 1, and a double to form your V, chain 1, skip this V, come into this space here, double, chain 1, double to make your V, chain 1, put a double crochet on top of this one here, and a double crochet in the top of your chain 3 turning chain from the previous row below. And that is pretty much all you do the entire shawl. It's a quick and easy stitch. You'll whip through this shawl in no time. You know, depending on how much time you have to sit and crochet, probably in an evening or two. And more than likely, it would require 2 of these because it only comes in 344 yards. I doubt that this would be as big as I like it with just 1 of these. This is the first time I've ever used this yarn. I can tell you just by the feel, I like it. It's hard to shop for yarn online. I just did a purchase on Lion Brand from their clearance section because the prices were so good, just so that I can try the yarn, because I am limited where I live to Walmart as my choice for shopping for yarn, which is basically Red Heart Super Saver. And after being able to use some of these other ones, I don't know that I could ever go back. Not for something like this. It's just, I'm spoiled now. Is that a thing? Can you be yarn spoiled? I don't know. If not, I just made it a thing. I am yarn spoiled. And I haven't even tried half of the good stuff that's out there. Probably not even 2% of the good stuff that's out there. But I will. If I can find it for a good price, you know. Some of them are really pricey. Anywho, all right, that's it. That is your V-stitch shawl. Quick and easy. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.